Hello, this is Matt with the Carver Family Update. We ended the semester great with a few wonderful classes, one of which was Corey Kilgus's church history class. I really liked this class. I got to translate it for everybody. And one of the coolest things about the class was learning about a man named Athanasius. Athanasius stood up for the deity of Christ when Arminius was trying to spread the word that Christ was not God. He was exiled 5 times and he wrote a book called Athanasius Against the World, in which he talked about the fact that he's not gonna back down from this point no matter what the world does. It's kind of funny. I feel like my son could write a book like that.
Against the world.
Coming closer to the end, we had a guy named Zach Ruiz. He came for a 2-week class, 1 Corinthians. It was sweet having Zach there because he really got into the students' lives. He got to hang out with them a bunch and was able to jump in. He's from Japan. Japan, the land of the rising sun. Last came Creation with Doug Bennett. Such an interesting and exciting class. And then finally, we had our intern Jorge teaching 2 Corinthians. He graduated about 6 months ago, and he stayed on as an intern. He led our worship this whole semester, and he ended the semester by teaching a class. The end of the semester for our family specifically was an intense time of trial. A few weeks before the end of the semester, my son Isaiah came down with bronchospasms and was hospitalized. You remember getting sick, Isaiah?
Yes.
Was it hard? Especially considering that my wife was bursting 9 months pregnant. 5 days after he was let out of the hospital, we had our new baby, Matthias. His name is Matthias Nehemiah Carver, and he was born in the car on the way to the hospital. Our baby was born in our car on the way to the hospital. The passenger seat of our car is now a sacred place. We were on the way to a clinic, and we turned toward the hospital when we realized that the baby was coming now already, and we weren't going to make it to the clinic. And God got her downstairs. She didn't want to go down. I got her into the car and kind of in a position on her knees while I was driving to the hospital. We drove on a dirt road to the hospital, which I'm sure helped in this particular case. And we entered the hospital emergency gate, and I just signaled to the guy, look, we gotta go. He came out, Ivy said, he's here. And then I picked him up off the seat of the car and I gave him to her. And then I ran into the hospital because we were just parking, and I ran in and I got a bed, a stretcher, and I came out and I grabbed Ivy and I pulled them both in. And then I fell to my knees and started weeping in the hallway. On the same day, October 10th, 2015, 2 months ago that my son Matthias was born, my grandma went to be with the Lord. Matthias was my grandma's 18th grandchild. And 2 days later, we were driving to the hospital. A giant dump truck ran us off the road, and we ended up in the ditch. Fell in the
Ditch. That was bad.
Believe it or not, the police didn't want to do anything. The truck took off, and we spent 4 hours using a system of jacks, pieces of rock, and wood to jack it up out of the ditch. Jesus has been ministering to us immensely, specifically to me through a verse in Luke chapter 22-28, in which he says, "You are those who have been with me in my trials, and I assign to you, as my Father assigned to me, a kingdom."
Kingdom.
The trials we go through are no accident. And the Lord is purifying us through all these trials, but the most important thing is that He's with us. And the more we go through those trials, the more that all we really want is Him and His kingdom. So thank you very much for participating in the Carver family as we continue to minister in Peru.
You have called me higher, you have called me deeper, and I'll go where you will lead me, Lord. You have called me higher, you have called me deeper, and I'll go where you will lead me, Lord. But you lead me. You lead me, Lord. And I can hold on, I can hold on to who I am and never let you
Maya, do you ever feel like you're against the world?
No.
Do you think the world's against you?
No.
Do you think that I'm against you?
Yes.